All right, Jim, what's pissing you off about the paper today? And I'm right there with you. I read these dumb papers every day, and I'm annoyed.
The story itself is very disturbing, but
Which story is it?
it's about the Marine. There was a white Marine married to a black woman, and 4 of the black Marines under his command attacked the couple and
Broke into their home.
For what reason?
murdered them both. Well, they thought they had a secret cache of money, but the racial aspect of the white guy being married to the beautiful black woman, she was a very beautiful woman, the way the paper ignores that, like, okay, let's just say a black man had married a white female Marine, and 4 white Southern Marines did it. They didn't leave Klan signs. They didn't do anything. The amount of coverage of the racial aspect, but it is amazing when it's reversed. They just don't mention it. And this is not black people making this decision. This is just white reporters and white editors, and they just refuse. Look at Fat Nick, who said the word, I think, nigger, like niggas, like he was trying to be a gangster, fighting a guy who was in his neighborhood to steal a car, and he hit him with a bat. And all they would do is show this guy who was hit with the bat in his military uniform and how Fat Nick was terrible and
racist Fat Nick and
the
race was brought
obsession
into it.
with the racial with the racial disparity between the two was on the front page of the Daily News constantly.
Can I say something really fast about that? I'm all in with this, by the way. Like, I was one of those people that didn't really notice what the media was doing with these high-profile black and white stories until you brought it, I think, Jimmy, to everyone's attention, and both of you, sure. And now there's people out there that are now aware this is what the media does, which is pretty cool.
It's just this thing. It's not saying that black people are not portrayed as criminals, and of course they are. It's not saying that they don't report that blacks commit crimes. It's just simply, it's this fucking really weird, deep-seated white guilt thing where white people are afraid to accuse black people of certain thoughts or behaviors. It goes really deep, and it's very bizarre. Like, they don't mind saying, look at how naughty other white people were with racial, but they're afraid to almost acknowledge that there are black people that do things that have racial motivation.
And this crime was so brutal and savage and personal that it wasn't just a robbery. This was something that was done to this couple that absolutely was done because there was something more there than just robbery.
Money was one part of it, sure.
Yeah.
But this is some of the stuff that happened. The 4 men used a sex toy to attack, I think her name was Quiana, Quiana Pietrzak. She has like a Polish last name, I think it was Polish, on a table as her hog-tied husband, Sergeant Jan Pawel, watched helplessly. And then Tyrone, Kishun, later allegedly 2 of the guys, later joked about attacking her and sodomizing her with the toy. They were joking around, laughing, making buzzing sounds. And they all worked under this guy's command, so he knew these fucking animals. Oh. And the sadistic fiends discussed burning the couple alive, but couldn't light a shirt on fire on the stove. So they shot them both in the head.
Jesus.
And then they even grabbed milk and a bottle of wine and juice. It's on page 20.
Page 20
of the Daily News.
And there's no inkling of racial motivation in the brutality.
There was a noose found in somewhere in Columbia University outside of a black professor. A noose was found, and it was front page news.
Racism.
A noose.
Hate crime.
Didn't say anything. It was just a noose. The symbolism of the noose we all understand. And yet, I would love to know, can somebody explain it to me?
Yeah, what is it?
Whether you're white or black, or just can somebody explain how this makes sense, or how this is, what it is that goes into the mentality that causes it? I don't understand it.
You know what else I'm very sick of in the same vein as this is these goddamn Brinks home security commercials. Now they're called broadband security or something.
Change the name a little.
Every time that door gets kicked in on that poor family, there's a white guy.
Every time.
And it's every time. And you know where the black guy is in the commercial, by the way?
Is he the cop or is he the security person?
He's the guy installing the keypad and smiling to the family. that, hey, here, I'll make you safe and everything. And the person kicking the door in to try to rape the daughter that's home alone, or the wife and the kid that was playing outside that went inside, or the husband and wife that are asleep upstairs. It's the bad, hooded white guy that kicks the door in.
It is such paternalism.
Yes.
By fucking elitist white people. How can anybody not see that? It is such a crumb from the master's table. That's exactly. Yes. It's such an elitist, condescending way of. It's like, if it was balanced, like, yeah, half the time it's criminals white, half the time it's black. Fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's so out of whack.
Can I see one of these commercials where it's not a white guy? That one with the stalker, although that is a white crime. The guy's. The woman's at the door saying goodbye to a date.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then
saying goodbye to a date, and then the door gets kicked in and it's her ex-boyfriend. That's white guy crime. I'll totally give him that one. That one's fine. But with a hooded guy,
well because they
breaking and entering, like kick the door in to rob the place. Come on, can we at least have one black guy doing that?
And
who's this? Oh, look, evil white guy breaking the fucking sliding glass door. There's evil white guy. And then the alarm scares him away.
And who made the point that all you have to do is put some kind of like hood or something on
Anthony made that
point. And then you don't know race at all, and then it would be less of a problem.
It's so far to one side now that it's so obviously based in this desire to treat a group of people like they're children and go, look what we're doing.
See, we're not showing you in that bad light.
I can't comprehend how anybody cannot see this.
We got a Marine on the phone here. Mike, the Marine from Westchester. Mike, you're on the Opie and Anthony show.
Hi, Mike.
Good evening.
Hello. Hey, Mikey.
Hey, so for one thing, I totally agree with you guys. All this is a bunch of, whiny, bitchy, complaining white guilt. For exactly what you're talking about, too. I can guarantee you the moment this happened, whatever major command that these guys were part of in the Marine Corps just wants it to go away. 3, I was a sergeant of Marines. I was on active duty. I was in an infantry battalion. I can't imagine what these guys must have, gone through their heads to do this. That's so far away from what you would normally think would be a relationship between an NCO and his Marines that, they must have just been the biggest, shitbags and soup sandwiches that you could ever fucking meet.
Well, they obviously knew they had to kill him because they recognized them. So they knew they were going to murder this guy. They were making his wife dance naked. They were going to burn them alive. Like, what fucking... If they are convicted, and they actually did do this, again, because you got to wait till they're convicted. But if they're convicted and they did it, they should just be crushed like fucking insects.
Yeah.
But why? Not even saying that robbery wasn't the main motive. But don't tell me it didn't annoy 4 young black Marines that this hot black chick was married to their white commander, who might have been a dick. I don't even know what the guy was like. Maybe he was a ball buster. But how that's not even addressed.
Right.
Well, there's no evidence. It's amazing to me. And yet there's a noose with no saying around it, no racial message, and yet that's front page news. It's fucking despicable.
And the words hate crime are thrown around and
never mentioned in reverse.
Yep.
Hate speech, hate symbolism.
When that white guy, that white student was chased to death in Harlem by those 4 black kids who were yelling, get the white kid or get the white motherfucker. It's considered, it's not a hate crime. They just don't think black people are capable of thinking that way.
Yeah.
It's not a compliment. It's almost like they think blacks are so basic that they can't have racial animosity. Oh no, for them it's just robbery. Like they're so basic as a people, they can't have a nasty motive behind it or an uglier motive.
Yeah, it's just robbery. It's just robbery. It's not racially motivated.
It's like white people, our minds are so better that we can think through things and have these deep-seated racial motives and these. You understand?
Hatred that comes out in these hate crimes and race crimes. And black people are incapable of thought like that.
Yeah, I guess they're just meat and potatoes, huh?
Yeah.
1 + 2 = 3. They can't have racial anger that builds up.
And that's exactly what the paper and some of the TV media puts out when they have these stories and don't mention the racial angle of it.
It is such a very subtle way of white people feeling smarter and somehow better. I know that sounds paranoid and crazy, but it's not.
Not at all, man. All right.
Well, guys, there is one other thing I did want to say, and almost as a devil's advocate kind of a thing. That this might sound a little bit weird to those people that have never been in the military. Racial issues, like stuff like that, a bit less of a focus in the general, at least Marine community, because from the day that you show up to either MCRD Paris Island or MCRD San Diego, you're not white, you're not black, you're not yellow, you're not fucking purple, you're all green. That does kind of cast things in a little bit of a different light, but there's no fucking way that this is just wrong on a billion levels. And I did read a news story about this just before I left the house, and it said the 4 Marines that did this are no longer in the Marines. I don't know if that means they were kicked out, but as far as I'm concerned, reactivate every single one of them, take them out back, fucking shoot them. Put them out on the rifle range. Let the recruits shoot at them.
I agree. They should just be executed. And I know in the military thing, my main thing is the way the newspaper is reporting it, because the way it's almost like that white couple that was like hijacked at the rest area in Tennessee a couple of years ago, and the brutality they suffered for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Like I think they burned the guy alive, or they
cut his dick off, put it in his mouth.
It was it's the most barbaric crime, or one of the most, and the racial motivation was so complete and so obvious and so a part of it, and it's a blip on the radar with the national media. Whereas there was recently, I think, a black woman who was held hostage by some white people, whatever, and there was some racial shit happened. And it was much bigger news. It was just reported much more.
Is.
Why is the media more comfortable reporting that? I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
They're more comfortable saying white people have sinned in that way than black people. Why are they so guilty to look at black people and go, yeah, you're capable of the same fucked up shit that white people are?
It's a great question. I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't even know how we get the answer. I don't know who we could talk to about that.
It's almost like if you know you're fucking somebody behind your girlfriend's back, to look her in the eye and go, hey, I think you're fucking someone behind my back. Your guilt is preventing you from looking her in the eye and accusing her of the same thing.
Yeah.
Because you'd rather just, you understand what I mean? It's just, I don't know exactly what that is. I'm not doing it justice with my bad explanation.
Mikey, thank you.
I get exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Let me go to Stryker. Stryker.
Love you. Love the show.
Hi, Stryker.
Hey, I don't know if you guys have been following along with what's happening to Glenn Beck. He a couple weeks ago he accused Obama of being a racist, and now the liberals and NAACP and these groups are going after him like they went after Iman.
Of course.
They've already gotten several of his sponsors to pull off of his show and whatnot, and it's just fucking disgusting.
You're not allowed to call the president a racist?
I think that's
if in your opinion.
Apparently not.
I don't think Obama's a racist, to be honest with you. I really don't think he is. But to accuse him of that, nobody would have given you shit if you accused George Bush of being a racist.
No.
They might have said you were stupid or you were wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this has been going on now for about 2 weeks, and I mean he's had some pretty major companies pull sponsors from him. And,
Unbelievable.
They'll ruin him. He'll be ruined.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Unbelievable.
Fox News, Fox protects its people, though.
We'll see.
That's true.
Well, and that's
We'll
the
see.
thing is, what's funny is if you look at the numbers for Fox for all of their programs, Glenn Beck still has a higher audience than every MSNBC and CNN show combined. And even if they pull, even with these companies that have pulled from advertising with him, that's still more. He still has more advertisers than America Left on SiriusXM has on their entire ad base.
You cannot accuse a black person of racism. Other white people go ballistic. Of course, the NAACP is going to go ballistic.
Yeah.
Instead of just going, that's an idiotic accusation, because I really don't think it's an accurate accusation. So just say it's idiotic, but the guy has a right to his opinion.
Yeah.
What?
It's precisely.
Oh.
That's it. It's an opinion.
Just
All right, punch it out, boys.
Thank you, Stryker. Let's go to Bill in Georgia. He's black, and he doesn't think the crime has anything to do with race.
All
Bill?
right.
Okay.
No, Bill.
Bill?
Yeah, how you doing?
Hey, Bill.
Hope you're my favorite man. I love you. But I think it's like this. The other day you had Palin put out a statement saying that Obama wants to kill all their their parents. And the stuff that Glenn Beck says, people in corporate America, they know that there are people out there stupid enough to believe that. And I think it's the same way vice versa with this. I mean...
Well, Bill, can I ask you a question? Bill, can I interrupt you and ask you a question? When you say that, you're not wrong. There are people stupid enough to believe it. But why is Al Sharpton not attacked, or Jesse Jackson, for the idiocy that they're proved wrong about?
Yeah.
Hey, people are stupid enough to believe those Duke boys raped that girl, and Jesse Jackson was really pretty much saying that he agreed with the fact that they had committed the rape before they were ever convicted of anything, and they were eventually completely exonerated. So why is nobody taking him to task the same way as they're taking Glenn Beck to task?
There's definitely no excuse for it. I mean, what happened here was travesty. It's deplorable and all that, but I think they know that there are black people that probably legitimately have a reason to be angry, given the history and context of this country.
Okay.
And there are some people stupid enough to go off the deep end about it.
But what I'm saying is, why is... Now, I'm sure robbery was a part of the motive of these Marines. They wanted money. But we all know, because we all live in the same country. 4 young black guys, Marines, obviously not going to like the fact that their white commander was dating a smoking hot, or married to a smoking hot black woman.
Right.
Because if it was 4 white Marines and there was a black commander married to a white wife, that would absolutely be brought into...
They'd bring race into it. They would be like...
Of course they would.
Reverend Al would be there. There'd be outrage. There'd be all kinds of racial overtones on the whole thing.
Yeah. And you know that's true.
I probably think it's going to happen a lot more often if they make that front page news.
Okay, whatever the reason. Do you understand, though, that at least that they're being dishonest by not reporting it like that?
Definitely.
All right, there you go.
Then you agree with us.
Thank you, Bill. Bill from Georgia.
Thank you, Bill.